Hi everybody, goodness gracious, this is my third attempt at trying to make this installment. Having some minor technical difficulties, which I'm going to be working out over time. But I did want to continue this series of how you can develop your gifts. I've done part 1 and part 2, and the last one was part 2, and I showed you a picture, and I asked you to write down the first things in the comment section, the first things that came to mind when you looked at that picture. I do want to validate for you. There were a number of things I could not validate because they may have been things I did not know about the person, but I knew an awful lot about that person because that person was my mom. And those of you who actually nailed it and said, "Mother, the eyes probably gave me away," I know I couldn't slip that one by you, but we definitely have the same color eyes and same coloring and so forth. So, okay. But you got, people said grandmother, nurse, caregiver, cancer, lots of things were dead on, spot on. Some of the other things I couldn't validate. Some of them are kind of things that would have been relevant to her childhood that I wasn't present for, and so I kind of can validate but can't. But anyway, so today what I want to do is give you another photograph, but before I do that, I want to talk a little bit more about the elements, because you also picked elements, and so I want to give you a little bit of a rundown on how the elements kind of interact or relate to the different psychic gifts. Let's start with earth. When you're talking about earth, you're talking about trees, you're talking about the ground, you're talking about nature, you're talking about being connected to the life source. And that would make you, if you remember, back in the day, and when people would actually put their ears to the ground to hear the vibrations of footsteps or wagon trains or horses stampeding or whatever. But the earth also carries vibrations of energy, not just the vibrations that are made by people and beasts that are walking on it. So if you picked earth, you are going to be really inclined to be attuned to vibrational things. And that has to do also with vortexes, spiritual vortexes. I wrote some things here, I'm sorry. Oh yes, psychometry, picking up elements, feeling the vibrational elements in an object that belong to someone who's crossed over, or maybe not crossed over. Maybe, maybe someone can give you something from someone they know, and you can kind of pick up the residual energy. When you're an earth person, not astrologically, but when you're drawn to the earth, you tend to be good with also dowsing. So using a dowsing stick to find streams under the earth or to find water, or as they do in actually some old cemeteries, they actually use dowsing to find exact burial plots, which is fascinating to me. I didn't know they did that. So you're actually going to be very prone to be good at psychometry, picking up energy and things. You're going to be more adept with dowsing, using a dowsing rod. Now, I use it to find spirit. So one day I might demonstrate that. Actually, it's 2 separate rods that crisscross. But dowsing and vortexes, you're going to be more sensitive to vortexes or sense the presence of vortexes or energy openings where spirits come in and go out. You're going to be sensitive to that because that's also connected to earth people. Water is the element of the unconscious, and so you're going to have prophetic dreams, psychic dreams, visitations in your dreams. You're going to have inner visions. You're going to see things in your mind You're going to be very good. Meditation is really very, very good for you. And in the state of meditative state, you are going to probably receive messages from the other side or just in general information about the world. But you are going to have more of a communication with spirit because when you meditate or when you're sleeping and dreaming, you're closer to that vibrational level. All right. The other tool that might be good for you if you're identified as water person would be tarot, because that again is an intuitive tool. And okay, so air. People who felt that they were air people or said they related to air and wind and feeling the breezes, they're going to be very, very gifted generally at working with pendulums, which move in the air. They're going to be very inclined to communication with birds and have certain kind of flying things coming to them and what have you. But pendulum is your probably your best gift, and things will also just come to you. You will have an awareness, an inner knowing of things coming. It's almost like you are picking up the vibrations or the knowledge in the universe that's in the air. If you're an air person, that's what you'll be very likely to find easy for you. Fire person. Not many people identify as a fire person, but these people are healers. They actually can put their hands on others and feel their energy, feel their heat. They can move the heat from their hands into the body of another person. It's also very good for someone who wants to do chakra work or work with crystals. And so basically, that's it. Now, if you have identified as one of these elements, or you've said that one of these elements is better for you than one of the others, but you don't really relate to any of the things that I've talked about, that's okay. I mean, I think this is an invitation. I'm inviting you to think about those elements and their connection to certain kinds of spiritual tools. If you have questions about, there's one I didn't say, that if you are, I think I did, if you're a water person, you are likely to be, I did say, receive information from the spirit world, and also earth. People that identify as earth people will have a greater connection to ancestors through the ground. So, but don't worry if you don't consider yourself one of those, elements. It's just an invitation for you to think about those connections and the relevance to you. I do want to show you another picture today. Now, this is going to be a little harder. I'm not going to say why, but the person is deceased. But this is a little challenging, and I do want you to do the same thing that you did on the last video, which is to write down the things, the 3 or 4 words that come up for you immediately about the picture that I'm going to show you. I will ask that you try not to interpret what you're getting. Y'all did a really good job, by the way, of just writing down things that came to you. I was really impressed with that. That was phenomenal. So just do the same thing with this picture, okay? And okay, I'm going to share it with you now. And I am picking this picture because I don't think it's anyone that any of you will know. Okay. That's it. Again, please do the same thing. Write down in the comment section here in YouTube, write down the words that come up for you for that photograph. And also, if you have questions about the elements that we talked about and the tools, that's, again, it was a very loose association, but something that I hope might be helpful to you. And I've got lots of ideas for other videos I want to do. I'm going to continue this series as far as I can take it without actually being physically present with you. But I will continue this series. Much love. Be well. Social distance. Wash your hands. Wear your mask until you're told that it's okay that we no longer need them. And I'll see you soon. I'm looking forward to reading your comments. Thank you.